Welcome to The Good Life with The Last Disciples, where we speak freely, think critically, and live authentically. Hey. All right, here we go. I'm Jaleesa.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Bobby. I'm E-Money.
And I'm Jocelyn.
And this is episode 1, 2, 3. Welcome to The Good Life, y'all. How y'all doing?
Yes.
Good. Doing good. Doing all right, man. I would be better if my Giants had won tonight, but I would be okay.
Here we go. Let's move on. So today is a special episode. Y'all want to know why?
What's up? What's going on?
It's our holiday edition of the Good Life podcast, y'all. So along with our usual rundown and live letters portion, we also have a segment called Reindeer Games. But we'll tell y'all a little bit more about that later. But now we have a special guest in the building, author Victor Wync Yarber, to talk about his new book, The Philosophy of F.E.M.P. Family, Education, Money, and Politics. Y'all ready to get started?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Sounding good.
Again, today we have author Victor Wync Yarber in the building with us today. Let's welcome Victor to the show, y'all.
Woo! Yes. Welcome,
Victor. Welcome, Vic.
Welcome to the show, Victor. How are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. How are y'all today?
Good. I feel really good.
Right.
Sunday is fun day.
Awesome. Now we're here to talk about your new book, The Philosophy of F.E.M.P. Can you share with us what that means or just how you came up with that concept?
Okay, the philosophy of F.E.M.P. is a concept that I actually developed to give to my kids as a survival mechanism, because I think a lot of times we do not have a philosophy for us to go with in order to teach us how to deal with the world around us. So I came up with the philosophy of F.E.M.P., which is Family, Education, Money, and Politics. The acronym F.E.M.P. actually came from my oldest daughter because that's how she chose to remember it. F.E.M.P., the first letters, and so I ended up writing a book around the acronym F.E.M.P.
Awesome. Yeah, now in the book, you seem to stress the importance of legacy. Is that predicated upon, being married or having children? I know for me, I'm 25 years old, no kid, not married. So what can I do now to start kind of build that legacy?
Actually, the book is especially for people like yourself. I would like to say it's targeted to teenagers to young adults, because a lot of times, we have things that people tell us not to do and to do when we're younger that we really don't know why,
Absolutely.
And there are things that we're never taught because our parents weren't taught, So when it comes down to family, for instance, what are you looking for in building, your family, which is the foundation of your legacy? As a 25-year-old that's not married, that does not have children, you're going to look at, okay, what environment do I want to bring my children into?
Yeah.
You know, what is it that I'm going to want to be able to provide, you know, for that environment?
Yeah.
You know, and so all of that is something that you would look into as far as how you would want to build your legacy. And that's pretty much kind of the point. Because a lot of time in our community, we're not legacy conscious, we're right now conscious.
Absolutely.
You know, and like you hear about names like Kennedy, DuPont, Heinz, and so forth and so on. You know, those are families. Hilton. Those,
Yeah.
you know, Paris Hilton, you wouldn't even know who she was if it wasn't for her family. You
Yeah.
know, but the legacy started somewhere from somebody knowing, hey, I want my family name to live, you know, on down the line, and I want it to be to where we are known for being successful. And that is where legacy comes in.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And as you were talking, a couple of things came to mind. You know, I saw an article some years ago. I don't know the title, but basically it was talking about how like upper middle class African American families, their kids don't necessarily surpass them or stay on the same class as them. That it kind of varies from, you know, where their kids may grow up to become. And so that kind of goes back to that legacy and what you're saying about that teaching that somehow doesn't get taught, even with successful, you know, families sometimes, especially my successful minority families.
True.
Sometimes it doesn't get taught. And it's interesting how we can kind of, you know, there's just gaps. So, you know, those are just things that just came to mind as you were talking.
And you're right. For example, you know, me, I came from somewhat of a broken home, one runaway kid who ended up going to college. Now, when I went to college, there was things that I was never taught because most likely those who raised me didn't know anything about it. One of them was credit. I mean, I went to the student union. I had like all these tables of people telling me to come by and fill out this little application for a radio or sports bottle or something like that, you know. Didn't really think nothing much about it, fill it all out. Then all of a sudden I have all these credit cards coming to me.
Yeah.
You know, some of them got used. I ain't gonna lie, they got used. They like Freaknik and so forth and so on while I was in college, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't have, hey, let's buy some pizza. Okay, let me go see which card is not over the limit, you know. But later on it came back to bite me, you know, because I really did not know the value of credit because no one taught that to me. And my thing is, you know, we should teach our children, just like animals, from the time they're young or born, they are teaching them how to survive in the wild. We should teach our children how to survive in the wild, which is the world. And pretty much that is the point of the book.
And that's we just literally talked about that last week about credit and, you know, the importance of really learning in our community all about how to survive financially. So dope stuff. And I know that they can, you know, now get that from you in reading your book. But you mentioned education and how you went to college, but your book also discusses how you didn't finish high school, but you went back and got your GED. So it sounds like education is very important to you. Can you talk a little bit more about education?
Okay, well, first of all, it is highly and very important. I mean, when you think about who are considered the two most prolific speakers in the 1800s, one of them would be Frederick Douglass, and the other one would be Abraham Lincoln. We always hear about his speeches as far as, you know, 7 years ago and all of that. Now, they came from places where education was not encouraged. But in getting an education, both of these people grew to great lengths. You know, that's why we say education is like the single most edifier of man. Because you had a little skinny kid from Illinois named Abraham Lincoln who had within himself to want to get an education. He didn't go to high school or whatever, but, you know, he was self-taught and got an education the best way he could. And, you know, became a lawyer and ended up becoming the president. You got a person who was born into slavery, okay, who tricked white kids into teaching them how to read. Yeah. And then he became so eloquent in speech that people challenged the fact that he was ever a slave, to where he wrote an autobiography, and right before it was published had to go to England so he wouldn't get captured as a fugitive slave, and then he released it. You know, later on he became the ambassador, I believe it was for Haiti, I want to say. He also was the owner of his own newspaper. You know, why? Because they got the education. So education is very important. The thing that gets me nowadays that I used to talk to my nephews and, you know, even my children about is that it used to be illegal to educate a black person, especially if they were a slave. Mm-hmm. And now it's like sometimes people think it's cool not to get an education.
Yeah.
Mm. And I'm like, well, you know, that is very backwards because it's like now you have the opportunity to get the education and you don't. So yeah, I mean, education is very important, and it is something that we should stress more than trying to get our children to be entertainers and athletes.
Yeah, I work in a middle school, and I've heard it in high school when I was, you know, just helping out, but the language around college isn't for everyone. Look into trade school. What do you think about that language that's kind of being taught to our kids that, oh, don't worry about going and getting your bachelor's or your associates. College isn't for everyone. You can still be successful in other fields, which is true, but I would love to just hear what you think about that teaching.
I'm going to go back to foundation, family. If anybody know you more than anything else, it should be your family.
Yeah.
You know, now, as far as family, they should always push you to the highest education level possible. So college, yes. Now, if that's not something for you, that's something that the child should decide once they've gone through pretty much high school, in my opinion. You know, because while you're in my house, you're going to get this education.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that everybody that's legacy conscious should push their offspring, you know, to getting the education. Now, once we get up to where you kind of have a decision, I want you to go to college. I understand that not all children are going to want to go to college, you know, but there still need to be instilled within them a certain basic ethos as far as knowing how to handle money, for instance, knowing how to get things done in their community, you know. So when they come down to the education, maybe they don't want to be a doctor, maybe they want to be a mechanic. I got that. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But overall, what we want is to ensure that our children are successful and they are positive citizens that contribute positively to our communities, especially.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, and even listening to you talk about family, I even want to go a little bit deeper and ask about extended family. And I see in your bio, you are a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Yeah. How has that fraternity, that brotherhood, that support group inspired you and helped you along this journey as you wrote this book and even just developed?
When I ended up going to college, I actually didn't really know much about college fraternities at all. Mm-hmm. But I ran across a man of a Omega Psi Phi fraternity that I befriended, and he was kind of like my mentor, you know. And he's, you know, he actually passed away back in '96. So, you know, rest in peace and all that. But he kind of inspired me to want to be a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Mm-hmm. Because of the things that they were doing, the things that they did in that community, and also the things that he wanted them to do and wanted to be noted for in that community. Okay, so that helped me out. Now, that being said, yes, I am a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, and I'm very proud of that. However, sometimes I do wonder. All these Greek-lettered organizations, we love to be looked upon as pillars of our community, but I think there is an onus upon us to go back to the communities where we came from, to go to troubled communities, and because we are who we are, try to contribute to the uplift of our people.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and me personally, I know that there's going to be arguments that gets done all the time, but I think it should happen on a more of a broader scale.
Yeah, which is so awesome. And we are so grateful for you sharing the book and time with us, because just from it and from our conversation, Victor, we've been blessed and just have been really enriched by all of your insights about legacy, about family, about your experiences. And so there's just so much here. But if you would say there was kind of one big takeaway you would want people to have from your book, what would that be for you?
That not all legacies are given to you. Some of them you have to make and build yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, just because you don't come from a place of privilege, that does not mean you can't go to a place of what is considered privilege.
Yeah.
I stated once before, the biggest thing we need to give ourselves and we need to have is a vision. You have to see beyond where you are in order to get beyond where you are.
Yeah.
So we have to work toward getting people to see beyond where they are. And once we get them to see beyond where they are, you know, it's going to be easier to encourage them to get beyond where they are. And right now, I don't think we have very many people out there trying to give people a vision for them to see beyond where they are, especially our children.
That's good.
Well, before we let you go, we have to ask this question, as we will ask every guest, actually, from here on out. And you are our first guest on the Good Life podcast, so thank you so much for coming.
Feel so very
Thank
honored.
you.
Thank you. What does the good life mean to you? What does it mean to you, Victor?
The good life to me, of course, and I'm going to go kind of back to my book. The good life to me is building a legacy, so that when your life is over, you live on, whether it's through your children or through your work. That's the good life for me.
Yeah.
Y'all give it up for Victor one time. Give it up for him.
Thanks, Vic. Yes.
Awesome. Now, you talked about this wonderful book. So where can they find it? Where can people pick it up? You know, it is the holiday season. It might be a nice little holiday gift for everyone, a stocking stuffer. So where can they find it?
Actually, you can find it on Amazon.com, and that's actually the first edition. We're also working on a more upscale, revised edition, which will be coming out next year, June.
All right. Give it up for Victor once again, y'all. He's here.
Yeah.
He showed
Yes.
out for us. We really
Thanks,
appreciate it. So now we are about to get started with the rundown after this short break. Hey, good lifers, this is Jaleesa, 1/5 of The Last Disciples. Just a reminder to hit us up on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/lastdisciples. Also, hit us up on our website at www.lastdisciples.info. That's www.lastdisciples.info. Now, back to the show.
All right. So let's get into the rundown, y'all. So what's up? What's going on?
So there have been a lot of shootings lately. San Bernardino, the Planned Parenthood shooting. I mean, there's a lot going on right now. What do you guys think about that?
It's a lot going on. I know specifically you mentioned Planned Parenthood, and that story particularly struck you. So let's talk about that. What were your thoughts on that shooting particularly?
When your beliefs take you into a world where you feel comfortable enough to take someone else's life, that's where, I have to stand firm in my beliefs and say, okay, enough is enough. You can believe that, but you do not have the right to take someone else's life because their beliefs don't align with yours.
That's a good point. It's a good point in the sense that the kind of action that took place at Planned Parenthood is terrorism. That's what that is. And, I know France happened. I know Mali happened. I know Nigeria happened and so on. And we all talking about sending our prayers up for those countries. And I definitely am in agreement with that and stand in solidarity as well. But there is a domestic terrorism that is happening in the United States that we're not necessarily paying attention to. And Planned Parenthood is one of is that. The police brutality that is happening with Laquan McDonald, and of course we talked about the Eric Gardners, the Trayvon Martins, the Mike Browns, etc. That's happening. Sandy Hook. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And when are we going to pay attention to that? When are we going to pay attention not only to what's happening in Paris, not only what's happening in Nigeria, and not saying that one is more important than the other. However,
they're not.
it's like
But they're all
we
the same
can't
problem.
be blind. It's like you're
Yep.
worried about the grass, across the street when your own grass needs to be watered in front of you, right? And like that's my concern. You know what I mean? That's a real issue for me.
So I think when it's time to focus on, issues that we're dealing with within the country, now we want to be up in arms about what's going on internationally. Now we want to focus on, praying for France or, some other country that's dealing with some issue, and we don't want to deal with what's happening internally. And not sweep it under the rug, not, say, okay, well, we're good. We've dealt with that, but really deal with those issues. And I mean, honestly, we've never healed from slavery. We've never healed racially. We've never actually dealt with those issues and said, okay, y'all, we have a problem that we need to fix. We just kind of said, okay, y'all, we don't do that no more. We don't have slaves anymore. All right, we're not racist anymore. Let's move on and let's be, one big happy family. And that's just not what it is.
Yeah, I'm glad you all brought up that image of the plant, right, of the grass, because I think it applies on another level too. Because one of the things that often gets left out of these conversations when we're talking about issues, we're talking about problems, whether they be in our own communities, whether they be in the nation, or whether they even be global or international, is thinking about roots, thinking about root causes. Like, it's so important for us to ask the question to get to the root of this in order to solve problems. Okay, why are people this angry? What is going on economically? What's going on psychologically? What's going on spiritually? What are the different parts of our lives that are being oppressed or depressed? Or what are some of the concerns that people are raising? Because unless we get to the roots, we usually just start at the fruit level, which is the results, the violence, the chaos, the terrorism. And just getting there, you're never going to get down to the root problem, which is where the solution and the healing has to come. Another part of that you all raised, like with that metaphor, is thinking about the environment that we create, because the environment is so important when you think about life. Whether it's us, in our own human life, or whether it's us just in general, we have to be thinking about, as people in our communities, in our nation, when it comes to some of the challenges we're facing, what type of environment do we have for our people? What type of environment do we have for our children, for our adults? Because the environment that we set is going to create the attitudes and the behaviors that we want. Somebody said a quote to me once that the system is designed for the results that it creates. So what kind of results do we want to create?
No, I agree, and this, I might sound really militant when I say this, but I think, isn't that America in general, right? America has a history, and don't get me wrong, I've been abroad, and I still would rather live in America. However, America historically has been a place where we don't look at what is going on within our country, but rather trying to spread democracy and hope and peace in other countries. Yet we didn't do the same. Think about where World War II, right? We're over there helping over there. However, we're dealing with bathrooms being separate, people not able to drink at the same water fountain, people not being able to sit on the same bus. You have people fighting, civil war. You want people to fight for you, however they cannot fight together. And so I think as a country, as Jocelyn alluded to before, we have to have a conversation about the history of
Absolutely.
the racism within this country, because until we look our own selves in the mirror, then how will anybody else be able to take us seriously around the world? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's like we got to deal with that. And let's not even talk about guns and gun laws. That is already a mess and just a ridiculous, you know what, and I'm gonna leave it at this. You know what I'm saying?
And they say that America's the land of the free, but it really, if you think about it, it's the land of the hypocrite. Because so many issues that we have and the language that is used, if you're looking at it, it's a contradiction. And what's even more hurtful is that when you try to bring these contradictions to light, you try to, speak the truth and give your viewpoint about the things that just don't add up. You're looked at as someone that's not being patriotic or doesn't love America. But that's really not the case. I'm just trying to voice an opinion that's truly affecting me, that's truly affecting the community, that's truly affecting people around the country. And it's just very painful to see how it comes out in such ugly, disgusting ways. how we can have these viewpoints and it comes out in ways that's just ending other people's lives. And then that's when it just goes way too far. When you can just live in a society where the systems that are in place, the option of it even ending someone's life comes. And that's an American issue. That's looking at history, the different hypocrisies that we've seen, the contradictions that we've seen, the rhetoric and the language that is being used. That is all part of this huge, complicated system that gives people this idea that they can partake in such craziness, quite honestly, where they're going out and killing people, going out and just creating environments that are just so hostile for people who are different than them.
That's good. In my last takeaway from this discussion is I want us to continue, and I know people are tired of using this term, but I hope we continue to stay woke. Because, and I say that because it's so many shootings happening that I'm even starting to become numb to them. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like
true.
I'm like the impact of these shootings are, as far as emotionally, are becoming, less and less. And I don't want that to happen. I want to be outraged every time it happens. I don't want to get to the point where I'm like, oh, here we go again. You know what I mean? And I think if we don't stop this problem, then eventually it will become just an ordinary day. And I just hope that does not happen.
The church I attend in New York is St. Philip's Episcopal Church in Harlem. Shout out. The preacher was talking about empathy, and he was stressing, do not lose your empathy, because I think that it's a dangerous place that, the world is in when we come so numb to certain things that we lose empathy for those who are hurting. But just moving on, one of the things that I wanted to bring up that I found hurtful but also absolutely hilarious was a clip when Jamal Bryant was talking with another pastor on CNN about the 100 black preachers that met with Donald Trump. And we have that clip for you all. Take a listen. If you haven't heard it already, I definitely think you'll get a couple giggles off of it. But just take a listen and we'll talk about it.
Yes. Dr. Bryant has gone so far to go out on Twitter and call the people that were in that room prostitutes. And I'm wondering...
He just called, let's just say, right here at this table, you just called...
Yes, a pawn. He called me a pawn. But he's called them a prostitute and said that we're using our pulpits as poles. Yes. Okay.
Right,
so
I'd
like to give a redress. I'm wondering if the women in that room, the women, female pastors in that room, appreciate being called prostitutes. And I'm wondering if their husbands, in fact, agree with being called prostitutes.
I want to apologize because prostitutes get money. And the 100 that went in there walked away with nothing. They did it for free. So there's another word for that, and I would not use that language on the family channel.
Oh, man.
That's
Wow.
Okay.
And y'all get nothing.
You got nothing.
I mean, that was hilarious. But I think that the real focus is actually the very, very beginning. And does this individual, Trump, deserve a meeting with his history? And that's the real question that I have. And I would love to ask all 100 of those black preachers. Then Pastor James goes on to say, well, we talked about such and such issues. Well, why is he talking about the issues that are most prevalent in our community in private and not on his platform, not on over the microphone? Yep. What cares? If I tell my mom I love her in private or while she's not even around, I love my mom, but when I'm with her or while I'm in front of people, I never say it. It just has a different type of meaning to it, and I just can't imagine why these pastors would want to meet with someone with such a history of just not just African Americans, but just minorities. When he was talking about the individual who was had a disability, that was just like ridiculous.
Yeah. Ridiculous. One of the things that I liked, because Bishop Paul Morton was actually on television as well, and he said something that was really key. Somebody was like, why you didn't meet with him? And he was like, I have no need to meet with somebody that I know who has said things outwardly that are negative towards people. He was like, as a preacher, we're supposed to, spread the love of God. And what he's doing is a direct opposite of that. Like, he's publicly denounced, Hispanics. He's denounced blacks. He's denounced people with disabilities. What else do I need to know from this guy? He's already said it on his platform. And I was like, he's right about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's like the people that he's catering to are the main piece, the wife, and all the black preachers he met with are the side pieces. Like,
side pieces get nothing. But
They got
pieces
they
get
were-
nothing.
some time
were-
in the room, in a conference.
Netflix and chill.
Yep,
Well,
Netflix and
Olivia
chill.
Pope got something.
Conference and no policy. That's what they get.
Basically.
Olivia Pope. Wait, hold on, y'all. Olivia Pope got the White House.
Oh yeah, okay.
The one side chick that
But she
rolls up
left
every-
because she couldn't stand it, though. That's the
She
word
started
that
from
I
the
got.
bottom and started under him, and now she's on top, and now she's here.
Remix.
She passed that back though. She was like, "I'm good."
One of the things that I'm glad you mentioned Reverend Jamal Bryant as well as Bishop Morton and some other pretty influential black pastors who were not there. Sometimes the best voice that we can give is by our absence. And I think that's what they showed, that just by our unwillingness to cooperate or to be present with that type of rhetoric and that type of just ungracious and intentionally harmful type of speech and presence is in and of itself a word about our faith and a word about our character and what we're willing to tolerate and what we're not willing to tolerate. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Sometimes by not being present, you're speaking very loudly, and that's a good thing.
You can get 100 people in a room for anything. So, I mean, that doesn't mean that he has the support from the African American community at large. And I hope that people don't look at it as like, oh, well, maybe he isn't so bad if 100 black preachers met with him. And you can get 100 people to meet for anything. So, but it definitely did hurt. But I appreciated Pastor Jamal Bryant, Morehouse brother, coming down on him and just being real. You need people like that.
Can I just take something real quick? So I did not appreciate how, I don't know the other pastor's name, but how he tried to make it seem like because there were women in the room, like it was like, well, how dare you call a woman a prostitute? And it's, first of all, men can sell their bodies.
Prostitutes too.
Yeah, so stop that. Okay, it's men selling their bodies. Okay, and they're prostitutes.
Hashtag scandal.
But the second thing is, don't try to deflect what is being said.
Absolutely.
There was a part that wasn't played in, and Jamal Bryant talked about, you are so happy to be in a room and be acknowledged by this man who really could care less about you. You were so happy to jump at the opportunity to say, I was one of the black preachers called, that you neglected and negated the rest of what this man has already shown you about his character. You know dang on well you don't want him leading your country. So why even be present?
Or do they? That's the scary part. That's the scary part for me. I was like, or do they? But this is the thing for me. Like we can all say, yo, we hope that people don't think that the black community is behind Trump. But we already know that one black person do something and every black person has done it. There's no lone wolf in the situation. You know what I'm saying? So when, unfortunately, with the optics with black preachers being behind him, that is going to make people believe, not maybe all folks, but people believe that maybe black people are behind this man. And that is a scary thought. You know what I'm saying, Josh? That's scary.
Yeah. And that was his point. He wanted people to say, oh, well, if they went, maybe he's all right, But I think we have to be more proactive about really learning people's policies. What are they planning to do for our issues? What happens in my community? What are you doing? What are you doing as a whole to change those issues, to rectify those issues? Because, he knows that getting a leader of yours in a room would have you to say, okay, well, maybe he's not so bad, when he knows he has no intention of doing anything that has anything to do with the betterment of the African American community or anybody's community. That this, ableism, we saw that, what you were talking about, Bobby, like any of that. He has no intentions of really doing anything for anybody who is not white and rich.
And that rich piece is key.
Very
Oh,
cool.
absolutely.
Leverage freeze is key.
All right, everybody. Now it's time for
Live
Insert club horn here.
So many things I think I know, and other things I think I don't. But the only thing I know for sure is you'll never know if you don't try and see how it goes.
All right, everybody. So now we're at live letters where we want to hear from you. If you haven't sent us a question or an idea, hit us up. So send us some questions at thelastdisciples@gmail.com. That's THEE lastdisciples@gmail.com, or message us on Facebook at facebook.com/thelastdisciples. Again, that is THEE Last Disciples. All right. So for today, our live letter is, what is your favorite holiday movie? And I'll kick us off right. My favorite holiday movie is absolutely, positively, unequivocally, without a single doubt, Home Alone.
Yes.
Which one? Hold on. Which one?
Which one?
Yeah.
The very, very first one. Home Alone numero uno. The best
I was hoping
one.
you were going to say the number 2 in New York City.
That was a good one. That junk was funny. It had my favorite scene when he got electrocuted and he screamed like a little baby. Yes. But nothing beats that original, man, when he steps on them things and hurt his feet and homie burns his hand.
And then the scary neighbor that was the savior at the end.
The shovel man, yeah.
I was like,
yes.
Teaching me don't judge a book by its cover. Yeah.
I gotta show y'all a picture. My high school choir director looks just like the great savior.
It might have been him. He could have been lying to y'all. Side hustle.
Side hustle. Come on, side hustle. You don't know,
Right.
you don't know I'm a star?
Right. You don't know, son. Oh, that's funny. All right. So mine would have to be, it's probably a tie, but I'll go with the one that's dearest to my heart, and that is The Preacher's Wife.
Yeah.
Kind of old school one. But it's so funny and it's so real to me, and I get really sentimental about it because I think I mentioned this to you all once before, that it just means a lot because I always listened to that soundtrack growing up. Like whenever my family and I would go down to see my grandparents in Alabama, or we would just like travel together, like we'd have that soundtrack on. So I can always remember singing "Somebody's Bigger," or we'd sing some of the other songs, and still sing Whitney Houston and Denzel and that whole thing. That was really cool. So that's a sentimental one for me. So The Preacher's Wife for me.
I'm going to have to be a biter and agree with my boy E and say that Home Alone is the best holiday movie of all time. Home Alone 2 was cool, but the first one was just everything. Like, I mean, from him putting on the aftershave and saying, or Uncle Frank saying, "Look what you did, you little jerk." I mean, all of it is my fave, man. Like, I wanted to be like, I'm a girl, but I wanted to be like Kevin McAllister in regards to like doing the traps. And I remember as a little kid, like I would try to make traps out of dental floss and like all these things in my house because I wanted to, do that. So yeah, Home Alone was the best, man.
I knew I wasn't the only one who did that.
No,
they saw it.
I actually had a recorder too.
I was like, I want to get somebody. I didn't. My follow through as a child sucked, so I didn't do it. But I was brainstorming when I couldn't go to sleep. I was like, dang, what traps could I set?
Yeah, I want to be left home alone now.
Hold on, pause. So, for our listeners, Eric just sent us a picture of his choir director that looks like the Shovel Man. And I was he does.
It was like the Shovel Man, yo.
Hey, he's clutch, though.
He does.
Clutch.
How did you find that so fast?
He's my Facebook friend.
Better keep up.
Now we can be Facebook friends.
Yeah.
Yes,
he
Shovel
does.
Man.
He doesn't look as scary.
No.
That could be like his younger brother or something.
Let us have sang the wrong note. His was scary. Oh, we not supposed to.
Yeah, ain't playing with y'all.
He is not playing with y'all.
Woo, that's funny. Yes. Yes,
All right.
indeed.
For me, it is a tie, and it's so ridiculous how different they are, but it's a Christmas story. And that's just such a classic. It's so meaningful to me because growing up, we used to hop around, house-wise. So in the morning, it was at our house. Then we hop to my mom's house, and it would still be on there. And then we'd go to my great grandma's house where my grandmother and all her sisters were there, all my cousins I'm close to, and then it would be on over there. Just because of that, whoever thought of that was just so genius. But it was just a huge piece of the day for me. And then the other one is Friday After Next. I mean, just comedy on comedy with Cat Williams in there. That's where the famous top flight security of the world.
Yeah.
That's where that's from. That's where the one where they're doing that commercial about the. It was so good, make you want to slap your mama, and then he really says, "Come here, mama," and knocks her out. Oh, I was yelling off that. Yeah, so two totally different movies, but honestly, it's straight down the middle. That's definitely the two I'm ruling with.
I'm gonna agree with you. Friday After Next, man,
oh yeah,
hilarious. Cat. That's when we really was okay. We were really able to see okay, Cat Williams is a comedy force to be reckoned with. He's actually really funny.
Pimp down.
Yes, all of that. And Mike Epps has been funny. So
oh my goodness.
Him and Ricky Smiley as Santa in that red suit, and he was in that red suit running around hilarious. So I'm gonna go with you on Friday After Next.
All right, everybody. Thank you for sending us your live letters. Don't forget, we want to hear from you. So please hit us up at thelastdisciples@gmail.com. That's THEE lastdisciples@gmail.com, or message us on Facebook at facebook.com/thelastdisciples. Again, that is THEE Last Disciples.
We'll be back after this.
Hang all the mistletoe, I'm gonna get to know you better.
All right, y'all, we're going to do something a little different for this holiday season with a segment called Reindeer Games. We have a random bowl of questions that we sent to each other this week, and Jocelyn will pull the questions out of a hat at random. Whatever we pick, we have to answer. All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Let's
get it. What's the drum roll?
The first question is, drum roll, please.
All right. Let's see. First question. Your favorite holiday song?
Oh. Goodness.
I already know mine. I'm gonna just go ahead.
Yeah.
So, real talk.
I'm not gonna win on y'all.
So no, man, go ahead. No, this is time to think. So why I'm talking? I'm just going ahead and slide in here real quick.
Go ahead, slide in.
So The Little Drummer Boy by the Jackson 5. I love that song, and I was crushed when I found out that the Little Drummer Boy was not actually a little boy in the Bible that decided to play his drum for Jesus. That really crushed me. I'm so serious.
That's real.
That crushed
That's real,
me.
though.
I really love that. I love the concept of we don't always have a whole lot, but what I do have, Lord, I will give to you. But I have that right now. I only have my drum, and I will play it to the best of my ability, and I will give that. That was everything to me, so I love that song.
Yeah.
Aww.
Definitely. Well, my favorite holiday jam is Mistletoe Jam by Luther Vandross from his Christmas album. Kind of a throwback. Y'all can see a lot of the music I listen to is kind of it was very formative to me and special to me growing up, and I just kind of never let go of it. So every Christmas, it ain't Christmas until we hit that Mistletoe Jam in our home.
Hey.
So that's my favorite holiday song.
My favorite song is going to crush all of y'all's favorite songs.
See,
it's a song. Yes, I'm sorry because I'm just
it better not be mine.
Well, I'm going first, so it's mine first.
Points off.
It's the song we just played this Christmas by Donny Hathaway.
Yes.
Hey,
Oh, yeah, that's
all the mistletoe.
Come on, face.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So, Donny Hathaway kills this Christmas, so that is my Christmas jam, my holiday jam, definitely.
You may have to do a rendition of that, Swank. She sounded good.
Boy, bye. Ryan, go ahead and crush me.
Yeah. Whitney Houston and the Kitties. When they sing,
come on, Cherub Choir.
when they sing, "Who Would Have Imagined a King?"
Look, Bobby already out.
That thing. Yeah, that's your movie. That's from your movie.
That's my movie, man.
That scene right there. Who would have imagined? I don't know why, but just those words kind of mean something. Like, who would have imagined? Not even just getting to a king, but just who would have imagined?
Yeah.
And just hearing that at a time to where your imagination is like just off the charts, and you're just trying to like achieve things and you're dreaming things. It's like, who would have imagined? And so it has relevance more than just like spiritual and religious, but just like personal. Like, I'm trying to accomplish things too. Who would have imagined? Like, it can happen. And so, yeah. But Whitney Houston, that voice though, gotta love that.
I got a two-way tie between my two favorite holiday songs. One is Take Six, Silver Bells, as a vocalist, the harmony. Oh my gosh, it's just amazing. And Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Yes.
I'm not voicing. I think it's Boyz II Men version. That junk just does it for me every Christmas, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can I be ratchet real quick? So my daddy, shout out to Pops. He had the 69 Boys Christmas album. Have you ever heard that album?
Bruh. Florida.
Like, I'm gonna be straight up, man. Them songs was my song. Like, what you gonna get her for Christmas? And what you gonna get that boy? Like, that album was so hard. Like, I'm about to go find the album when we get off this. Yes, for real.
Go ahead.
All right, next question. Let's see. The worst gift you've ever gotten.
Oh, I got this one.
Other than nothing?
Okay, let me go first.
Look, I love you still. But if you know you got me this, don't feel no type of way.
Word. Let me go first. Oh, I remember it was like yesterday. I was 16 years old. I got a effing... Why are you giving me a little dog on a string that starts walking? What am I going to do with this? I'm 16, 8. Come on, bro. This heck, I got that gift.
A string, though?
A string, my boy. Like,
it was the electronic dog, like the little ones that walk?
No, it was one of them little manual ones you put, like, no. I'm not a baby.
A string?
I can't get over this string, though.
That's what me and for
No, I can't. I still remember that dang on silver grayish dog.
Yeah.
That's kind of disrespectful.
What'd you do with it? What was your reaction?
I gave it away. I gave it to one of the younger kids that would enjoy it. And that was
it. I hope you didn't give it away day of. I said next year. I hope you didn't give it away day of.
No, it was the same day, the very next moment. That gift was given away.
The very next moment.
Thanks.
On my way to get more food, I gave it away. For me, it has to be. I don't even fully remember it, but it was some special coins. Like, at first I thought, I got a bag of quarters. I'm about to at least just, get up on some, hot fries, for school when we get back into school or something. It wasn't even quarters. I was like, I can't even use this. What? It was just coins.
Yeah.
I don't remember what was special about the coins. I cannot remember, but it was in a little baggie, like a marble bag or something. I appreciated the bag. Then the coin. I put something in there. I don't know. Maybe put some real money in there. But I don't know. I don't know what that was. But yeah, that was the worst.
I know I never really got a bad gift, but then
Oh,
again, I'm very specific. Like I
Mm.
give people list. Like I don't even play. Like I give people a list about what I want, and it's because if you know. But now that I think about it, I love my brother. I have 3 older brothers, and I love him dearly. And I won't say which one because he might be listening.
Yeah.
But he, you know, it sucks when somebody gives you a gift that you don't like, but they're really excited about it.
Yeah.
So, you know, my brother bought me these shoes. I don't know the brand of these shoes. I don't know where he got
they
them
was in
from.
Shaqs.
Nah, they had an M on it. I don't know what the M stood for,
Marshalls.
but no, I don't know. But Eminem, I don't know, but
Eminem said, "We not just doing candy no more.
we doing
We doing
shoes,
shoes."
and I didn't wear them. But all I could do is be like, man, thanks, bro. I love you, man. But those were not fly, like at all. I still don't even know what the M stands for. So
Mm.
yeah.
We just gonna go with Eminem for now.
Yeah, I like Eminem.
Yo, I don't know. I'm with Lise. I don't know, y'all. Like I feel like over the years, I see. Here's the thing. I am so respectful, except when I feel disrespected. So I'm for real. So I feel like if you've gone enough to give me a gift, I'm gonna at least smile, like, oh, thank you. So I can't even. I think
But
I've
it was still a
repressed.
bad gift, though. You
No. But I
even
think
smiling.
I've repressed what I even
You,
think is a bad gift at this point because I'm
Oh
just like,
God,
you got that many?
mercy.
What you saying?
I don't even know. Like the only thing that's coming to mind are these wide leg jeans in the 6th grade.
You cut?
Like I mean, like wide leg, like tight.
Like flares, like flare jeans back in the day, 'cause those was hot.
No, I'm talking
Like
about like, and they were high but I'm not talking about flares like at the bottom. I'm talking about the whole leg is big.
so,
Oh,
like you can put both of your legs in the same part. Like you put four
Yeah, but
legs
they
in
were
there.
like
Just one
straight
is
leg, wide leg jeans, and
true.
there was a certain type that were cool, and then there were other types that weren't,
Yeah,
and I got the type that wasn't. Um,
got it.
so that's what's coming to mind. But I
Mm.
can't really. I mean, I don't know, y'all. I'm being whack right now. I just can't think of nothing.
So you would have been happy with my coins?
If I could have found some use for them, like if there was some game that I could have put them in to get some type of reward, I would have been straight. Or can I sell them? Can I sell the coins? Are they worth
yeah. I'm
some
like, are they
money? Yeah,
collectibles?
right,
Like,
right.
I see.
I was trying to
That's
make
just
these coins work.
yeah. That's too long ago for me to remember. They was something of meaning. Maybe I could have sold them. I just wasn't wise enough. I have an eBay account, so I don't know.
So with me, I'm like you, Josh and Swanks. There's not immediately one that comes to mind. I think when I was a kid, it's like I was just grateful, for whatever somebody gave me, and especially as a kid, there's just this excitement and this wonder and this joy you have about gifts. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna go play with it, even if like 30 minutes later you go put it down. I always like Legos growing up. I still like Legos, still got some, but I think the worst gift. I don't remember this, but it's funny. We're talking about holidays because at Thanksgiving, my uncle who was down at our house for Thanksgiving shared that, and this memory still stayed with him. Like when I was in 6th or 7th grade, he gave me a toy. I think it may have been some type of ball, either like a bouncy ball or a basketball. And he said, I just kind of threw it down and said, I don't want it. Yeah. And he was like, it's like he was still holding his upsetness, his pain from
Oh,
not liking that gift. And I couldn't believe that. Like it really hurt him that I didn't like that gift.
yeah.
And that just threw me. That was really strange. And showed me how sentimental he is. But I didn't even know that. So apparently some type of ball.
All right, y'all. So we did it.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Another great one, y'all. Come on. So, as always, what's good in your life this week?
Well, for me, I'd say there's an overflow in my life of love from my birthday.
Come on, overflow.
Yeah, which is about a week and a half ago. But when I got back from being at home, I got some mail from some of our members and just sent some really sweet cards. And so just some overflow B-Day love. And I'm very grateful for that.
For me, I'm still have some of the excitement from actually winning the championship in that adult league.
Wow.
It was definitely good. And then in the championship, we just like ran through them from the beginning to the end, and we lost to that team twice already. So I was pretty excited to get that W off of them. So definitely still happy off that.
That's awesome.
Congrats.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I got one more week before finals. So what's good in my life this week? The Lord has decided that it's the end of the semester. So I'm
the Lord decided.
Yes, the Lord put it on paper. So we gonna go ahead and finish this week out, and I need a break. I'm gonna just be straight up.
I will say that actually the day before Thanksgiving, I probably had the moment of a lifetime, and I got to take a selfie with the FLOTUS of the United States of America. That's definitely been like my highlight of life. She touched my right shoulder.
Come on, FLOTUS, we in the building.
Just a touch, FLOTUS.
Yes.
Just a touch from FLOTUS.
It was
all
great.
I need. That's what's up. Well, what's good in my life this week is I just found out that I've been accepted to seminary, so I will be attending seminary.
Wow.
16.
Hey.
Yeah, so while you are praying that your semester is over, Lord have mercy, my journey is about to start yet again.
Yes.
So another degree, another dollar, another day. So amen. So shout out to that, man. God is good. Yeah, man. Yeah. Tune in on December 23rd for a special holiday gift as we give you part 2 of the holiday edition of the Good Life podcast to continue Reindeer Games and to discuss the Good Life survival guide for the holidays. Also, don't forget to hit us up on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/lastdisciples. Also, hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at Last Disciples and on our website at www.lastdisciples.info. Also, please rate and comment, guys. We really want to hear from you. So please rate and comment on iTunes and SoundCloud. We would love to hear from you. All right, y'all. That's it. See you next week. Bye.
Peace.